I got 9.
It's about 9.
Yeah. 9 with the potential for more. All right, let's do this real quick, and then we'll update you on a couple Eagles things. But
yeah,
if you just look at this weekend, for example, or let's just take this weekend. All right, I nothing's happening with the Browns, nothing's happening with the Texans, nothing's happening with the Dolphins, nothing's happening with the Chiefs, nothing's happening with the Steelers, nothing's happening with the Bills, nothing's happening with the Packers. Hold 1 second. Nothing's happening with the Rams, nothing's happening with the Lions. So I think, and tell me if I'm wrong, you tell me if I'm crazy. If the Cowboys were to get upset by the Packers, would Jerry take a run at Belichick?
Oh, I don't even know if that's a fit.
I don't know that it's a fit for Belichick because Jerry's got his hands all over everything.
Right.
But I'm just saying, and then the other team that is a possibility in a lot of people's eyes is the Eagles, not mine. I think Sirianni comes back, but I know you think anything could happen here.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
You could get that number into double figures, basically.
Exactly. You can have at least 10 to 11 jobs potentially available. It all depends. That's about a third. That's a little over a third of the league. So, man, has the NFL ever been in this kind of place before? That's something that should be looked into.
No question. All right. So, yeah, we'll track everything that's going on there NFL wise. So as I mentioned, Eagles back at practice today, Tone, and you're kind of looking ahead here, and here's who speaks today. You'll have Nick Sirianni at 12:30, so a little more than an hour. Sirianni will speak. Then the locker room opens, and then they go through a walkthrough at 1:45. So that's what we're looking at here, Eagles wise. Today. So let's go there for a minute. We're at Thursday. Where we're getting closer to the game, and it's we're gonna again I think have some once Nick speaks, he'll probably give us some updates on injuries in about an hour. But they potentially are getting back Slay, who's already said he is. Hopefully Devontae Smith, who they gave last week off. AJ Brown, I don't know. I mean, we haven't really heard anything, which I don't know if that's bad or good, but we haven't heard anything. AJ potentially playing. And for the most part, you're looking at Zach Cunningham. You're looking at as healthy as you've been in a really long time for this team, and it looks like everything's okay with Avonte Maddox with the arm and all that. Does that sway you in any way? Does that help? Kind of where you're at looking at this thing in any way, shape, or form.
It's always better to be healthy than not. So let's start there. You want to make sure you have the best shot to achieve your goal.
Right.
And in the NFL, that starts with health, preparation, execution, all those things. But it always starts with health. You got more guys than you started with. I'll take that as far as it'll take me. As far as the actual production on the field, I don't know how much it helps in that regard because we've seen these guys on the field and we've seen all different combinations.
They've lost 5 of their last 6, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how much of a difference Darius Slay can make. You know what I'm saying? Especially he's been there most of the year.
Well, here's where I'm at with Slay. Although he's certainly not what he was. He's their best cover corner.
Absolutely.
And I know that's not saying a ton because Bradbury's been a mess and all that, but he at least I view the same way with Maddox. And Maddox, I just worry that he can stay on the field, but they both just sort of everything calms down a little bit with those guys out there. I think there's less missed assignments. You might have foot speed issues in some cases. Maybe Mike Evans beat you deep. I don't know, whatever. But I don't think you're going to see the breakdowns that we saw with the young kids. So at least from that standpoint, it certainly can't help. I mean, can't hurt to get to.
No, right. And I think that's where I'm at, right?
Yeah.
It can't hurt you, but at the same time, not much has been able to help this defense in the first place.
I agree. Yeah. That's the thing. We could sit here and talk ourselves into everybody's healthy, but for the most
health
part,
wasn't really the issue.
Right. When these guys have been on the field, it hasn't been good.
Right. And look, there was a stretch where the DB room was shuffling.
Yeah.
I definitely understand that. So there was a point where health was a problem.
True.
But I think that was before we knew this defense was this bad. So, and also the fall off of the defense almost seems unnatural because they were up and down for the most part of the season, for the first part prior to the bye. They give you a solid game, a rough game, okay. You know, it looked like a defense that was just feeling things out, trying to figure it out, trying to string things together.
True.
Post bye week, they just look like a bad defense, period.
Yeah.
Just bad. You know, not a team that's trying to figure it out, feel it out, trying to piece things together, trying to string together some successful stops. They just look like a bad defense. And regardless of who's out there, I have a hard time believing that changes on Monday against the Buccaneers. Obviously, again, health is wealth. The more healthy guys you got out there, the better your chances are of victory. That's an absolute fact. But this team right now, as they're presently constructed, as they're presently being led by Matt Patricia and Nick Sirianni, I'm not optimistic. So we'll see how my opinion changes once we lock in our picks on, since it's a Monday night game. We don't have to lock anything in until Monday, really.
Correct.
So we'll see how this thing goes. But overall, yeah, they're healthy, but to what.
Well, here's where I'm trying to
no avail, really.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay open-minded. I'm trying to be realistic about what I've seen over the last 6-7 weeks from this team, which obviously isn't good. But I also know that somewhere down deep, there's championship DNA, or at least, Super Bowl getting to DNA from a lot of people. So, and I still think there's a lot of talent on offense, man. We're going to get into the offense in a second in terms of big plays and whatnot. And we're also going to grade the Eagles coming up at 12 o'clock. But there is something there. But, I also can't be I can't view it as just, I hope they win and let that blind me to what's been happening with them. So I'm trying to stay, like I said, open-minded towards them right now. But they haven't done anything to help me or help themselves over the last. I mean, I keep hearing people say, well, the Bucs aren't a very good team. They're not. They're not a very good team. But were the Giants and Cardinals good teams?
I don't like when people say that, because saying that to me completely ignores what we've been watching the past several weeks.
Correct. You're trying to basically, Tone, what you're doing is you're saying, don't look here. Look over there. Look there. You're not looking in the mirror.
Right. And I don't buy into that at all. I don't care how bad you think the Bucs are. You lost to the Cardinals, you lost to the Giants, and you lost to the Seahawks. 3 teams that are not in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah. Agreed. And for whatever the Bucs are, they're better than those teams.
Good enough to get into the playoffs.
Correct. And they've won 5 of their last 6. Granted, it hasn't been against, the greatest of competition, but they did what they had to do in the biggest moments. And the Eagles sleptwalked, frankly, through their last 2 games, or at least the last game and a half, because they were up big at the half against the Cardinals and then just crapped it away. So,
and, the city has to own that. Just like the fan base has to own the fact that this team has not played up to par, and they're liable to lose against anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody. If the Eagles were playing the way they were supposed to be playing, that line would be way worse for the Buccaneers. You wouldn't see -3 to Eagles. You'll probably see -10, -12. Like if the Eagles were playing up to par, but they're not. It's a reason why they gave them the points on name alone. That Buccaneers team can catch the Eagles slipping, because the Eagles have been slipping for the past several weeks.
Yeah,
this is not even a Buccaneers issue. This is an Eagles issue.
It's an Eagle. You're right. It's much more about.
I'm not worried about the Buccaneers. I'm worried about the Philadelphia Eagles.
Correct. Right on.
And rightfully so.
Yep. Agreed. All right. So Brian Johnson now has 2 interview requests. The Panthers have requested to interview him for their head coaching position, as have the Titans. So let me ask you, Tone, based off of that, are we missing something here? No, I swear I'm not saying that in a facetious way. Like, is this just that he's so hamstrung by the scheme that Sirianni's putting together that we're not seeing it? Because I also am not crazy about the way he calls games, but nonetheless, 2 teams are seeing it fit to interview him for their head coaching gig. Like, what am I missing here, man? That's the longest pause I think you and I have ever had on our show.
Because I'm trying to figure out if I want to have this type of conversation right now. And You know,
No, what is it? Go say it.
It's early in the morning. I don't want to get people thinking on this level yet. So, look, Brian Johnson, he's
Do you think it's the Rooney Rule?
I think it's Rooney related. I think it's Rooney related. Because
Sill says the same thing.
In my opinion, this
isn't sincere. They're just.
I don't think he's shown you anything to warrant the look.
I frankly don't either.
You know, and this is me being completely objective.
Yeah.
I don't think, listen, I want more black people in high positions as much as possible, man. I believe in that. I believe in, you know, diversity. I believe in, you know, giving people that look like me opportunities, because I believe we're just as qualified as anybody else at the role. Don't get it twisted. But Brian Johnson has not, in my humble opinion, as an Eagles fan, as an objective football viewer, and that's probably contradictory in and of itself. But nonetheless, I don't think he's done anything stellar enough to warrant the look. Ben Johnson, yes, from the Lions, that brother deserves the look. Yeah. Steve Wilkes and with the 49ers, that brother deserves the look. You know what I'm saying? Gerard Mayo, he deserves the look. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because as bad as it was in New England, the defense was legit. The offense was horrendous.
Exactly. And Antonio Pierce, as the head coach, he led that team to go 500, and they finished second in their division.
Yeah,
all things considered.
Yeah.
So there are certain guys who I feel like deserve the look. Brian Johnson, I'm not really seeing it because the quarterback regressed under your watch. You're a part of an epic collapse in the second half of the season. Your offense has been sputtering for dear life. Yet, you know, he's being viewed as a head coaching candidate. All right. We'll see how we'll see how it pans out. And if he gets a job elsewhere, hey, listen, man, more power to you. But
no, I got you.
I feel like this is definitely quota oriented, quota related.
So a couple other things. They have now the Eagles have bagged a walkthrough, and they're actually practicing for whatever it's worth. Okay. So
things are getting serious at the NovaCare complex.
God forbid the exhausted defensive line has to have an hour and a half practice instead of walkthrough. But yeah, I don't know how Jordan Davis is going to get through it, but we'll see what ends up happening. All right, so let's come back, and I want to talk about the offensive side of the ball. It just can kind of continue that theme here in terms of big plays, because that is something that the Eagles view two things. On the offensive side, they want chunk plays. On the defensive side, they want to stop chunk plays, okay? But I want to get into the offensive side, and then we're going to walk through grades, Tone, for everybody on both sides of the ball. We're going to hit the coaching staff. We're going to hit Howie Roseman as well. We'll do all of that. And again, practice starting at 12. Nick's talking at 12:30, so we'll give you injury updates because there are some key ones out there that we don't know about right now. So we'll do all that when we come back. Don't go anywhere. That's Tone. I'm Rob. We are Sports Take. All right, tell you about Bravo Pizza of Havertown. Been going there since I was a kid, family owned since 1985. Alex and that great crew are in there every single day, cranking out the best food and the best variety that you could possibly have. They have 20 different styles of pizza. They have slices to go. They have the specialized pizza. However you like it, they will make it for you. But they don't just do pizza. They have fresh pasta, sandwiches, wraps, wings, salads. Bravo Pizza of Havertown is also committed to the community. They have fundraisers for charity, schools, little leagues, where the proceeds go to those organizations. You could follow them at the Bravo Pizza of on Instagram and Facebook for daily specials and promotions. They're located at 1305 Westchester Pike, Manoa Shopping Center in Havertown. 1305 Westchester Pike, Manoa Shopping Center, Havertown, PA. Give them a call, 610-446-3810, 610-446-3810. Here's a little bit more on Bravo Pizza of Havertown.
I remember getting my heart broken when they lost the Super Bowl in 2004. We're big Eagles fans. We moved to South Philly because of the Eagles. When they won, we went straight to Broad Street, and everybody was going nuts over there, and it was just a memory that you'll never forget.